Children, I'm Ms. Shilpi and I've been teaching accounts for 10 plus years. I've been teaching grade 11, 12 and university level. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and here in this channel I'm beginning to introduce each chapter in a very short way and which you can understand easily, because due to study pressure you may not be able to read the whole chapters. So it's easier for you to understand. And in this class, I'm going to begin with CBSE grade 11, or which is equivalent to O levels grade 9, as my student comprise both the sections. Okay, so I'm beginning to start with introduction to accounts. I will be catering to these topics today in my YouTube channel. Meaning and need of accounting. So I'm going to write accounting like this, so easier for us. Branches of accounting, accounting information. It basically deals with its characteristics. Objective of accounting, and last is basic terms of accounting. See, I don't want to pull this particular video too long because it's going to be a theoretical. You may get bored. So I may split it in two sections. So let me begin with this now. These are the things I'm going to cater. Now, first and foremost, let us understand what do we mean by accountancy. What is accounting? Okay, see, if you understand the concept, you are able to write it in the exam by yourself. Basically, accounting deals with providing useful information for decision making. Student, whenever we talk about accounts, I'm always going to speak from the perspective of companies or organization point of view. Okay, because the accounting is maintained by the organizations, the business entities. So decision making, who will be helpful? The business, the organization, the management. Okay, now if I come to the definition part of it, what is accounting? It's an process. It's a process of identifying, measuring, recording, and communicating the required information pertaining to the economic events of what? Of an organization to the interested users. So here there are many new words which you have come across, which I'll be explaining you in short, so it becomes easier, right? So now what is accounting? It's a process of identifying, measuring, recording and communicating the required information. Now what's the required information? Pertaining to the economic events required in, let's highlight those which are new to me in this topic, of an organization to the interested users. Now let me take the economic events first. Economic events here, it means any happening in the business. Let's say any happening in the business. Like for example, purchase of a machine, Now this is an event which has happened. I'm buying machine, but here I'm paying for it, right? So there the money is involved, right? But what happens in this case? For example, if they say any policy change by the management, there the money is not involved, right? Money is not involved in this. So this doesn't come in my accounting concept. Whereas economic event is any happening in business, for example, purchase of machinery. Second, what I'm going to tell you is now identifying, measuring, recording, and communication. Identifying means you have to find out which transaction or which event is affecting my business. For example, this is going to affect, not this, in monetary terms. I'm going to measure it. I'm going to measure this in monetary terms. For example, purchase of machinery for rupees 10,000. So this is how I'm going to measure it in monetary terms. And then I'm going to record it. Record it where? In my books of accounts. Books of accounts. Here I need money, monetary terms, and here I need to identify. That means I need to segregate, which is important information for my accounting aspect. Segregating. Communicating the required information. I am going to communicate it. These are the required information of the economic events. Organization. What does the organization here means? Organization here means my business enterprise, right? My business enterprise. Interested users, very good. This is very new term for you all. Interested users are of two types. Internal users and external users. Now my internal users will comply, it will consist of, suppose if this is my organization, my internal users would be those who are within the organization, within the business enterprise. For example, my COO, my CFO, my management, then my employees, supervisors, and so on and so forth. Whereas my external users would be those who are out of the business but are directly or indirectly associated with my business. They can be government body or tax authorities, investors who have invested in my company, my creditors, my debtors, so on and so forth. So this is what is accounting. This is what it means. Okay guys, so from this you would have understood what is accounting. Now all this I have to record it in my books of account in a systematic manner. That's when the bookkeeping comes into the picture. That's how it goes. So now here in this I have explained you my meaning and need of accounting. Now I'm going to move to branches of accounting. Now as we are moving up further in our day-to-day business, the business is getting diversified. More and more accounting needs are arising. So that's why my accounting has become diversified. It's the branches of accounting can be taken as the financial accounting, cost accounting, and management accounting. Now, financial accounting, what are the difference now? Since these three are segregated in three different channels, financial accounting It assists in keeping a systematic record. What I do here is I keep a systematic records of all financial transactions. So how am I going to check it as a company? How am I going to check the management that what are my financial transactions? How is it better than last year? How can I improve it further? So these are done with the help of reports. So these reports are called financial reports of past years. As you move further, you will know how is it each financial year is divided in accounts and how it can be compared. All these things you would be learning going forward. Now my cost accounting, I move to cost accounting. In cost accounting, it assists, now it helps in analyzing the expenditures. Now, cost is related to costing of the product. Financial accounting is related to all the systematic recording of all the financial transactions, be it conveyance, traveling, rent, electricity, all this. But whereas cost accounting is pertaining to the expenditures of production, expenditures of production of any product. So that is a major difference between these two. Product or services provided by the firm. Alright? And how does it help? It helps the company in fixing up of the prices of the product, and also helps in cost control. Alright, so this is basically connected to manufacturing unit, where how much raw material I'm buying, how is it going to process in the manufacturing process, it goes through the machines, then manpower is added. There are so many things which you'll be learning later. And then we move to management accounting. Now management accounting, it assists the management, it helps management in providing necessary information to the people, to the, you can say people, or you can say management, in the so this helps in decision making. It helps in decision making, it helps in planning, and this helps in running the business operations. For example, if the organization deals more in cash, and then the management needs to know so much of cash flow, is it good in the business, or do they need to curtail and move to more of credit? These kind of decisions help them in taking core decisions for the benefit of the company. So that is under management accounting. The information which is provided has to be relevant, adequate, and reliable for decision making. Now, what is the next step we are going to do? We are done with this. We are done with branches of accounting. Now we move to the characteristic, accounting information characteristics. Okay, so this is, we have completed this third page. Now we go to the next one, accounting information, its characteristics. Because everything in accounts depends upon the kind of information which is provided for making the entries. Now, accounting information, the characteristics. Now, I'm going to write a sentence where everything from the sentence itself, you will know what kind of information is required. The information provided should be or is relevant, adequate, reliable, able to be understood, and comparable for the effective decision making. So for this, what the accounting information should consist of? It should be relevant, it should be adequate, it should be reliable, it should be the user should be able to understand it, and it should be comparable. Now I'll just tell you each term in brief so you'll be able to get it. Relevant. Relevant means the information which is provided, it should be on time so that the decision can be made effectively. It should be on time for future decision making, right? For future use. And then feedback can be gathered. Then it should be adequate. It should be complete. Okay, adequate means complete. For example, I say purchase of machine. Now, is this enough? No, I cannot get anything. It's not adequate. I'm saying I'm purchasing machine. The company says they are purchasing machine, but for how much? If I say purchase of machine of rupees 10,000, then it makes sense, right? So it should be complete. It should be reliable. It should be from the reliable source. You have to see what source. If I say purchase of machinery for rupees 10,000, the source should be, I should have a proper documentation for this, right? What source? And then it should be error free, and it should not be bias. Now, the next one, able to understand. Able to understand the information. There should not be any ambiguity. Ambiguity means it should not be dual meaning. It should be very clear in its information. The decision maker should be able to interpret from it whether this is a right decision he can make based on this, or whether the decision has to be changed, right? So, able to understand. And next is comparable. Comparable. The information should be comparable. It can be compared with previous years. It can be compared with same kind of entity, or you can say business enterprise with the same economic condition. Alright, if the economic condition differs, then it cannot be compared. The economic condition should be the same. Previous years, or you can say time period. Right? And then the kind of product, and so on and so forth. So the information should be can be comparable. This is what is accounting information. These are the important important things for the information which has to be provided. Right, now we are done with this. Now we move to objective of accounting. Now why do we have accounting? See, we all are doing accounting, learning accounting to, someone wants to become CA, someone wants to have their own company, they want to do CCA. But the main purpose of accounting, keeping books of records, is, I will just mention this here. This is my 5th page. So I go to the next one, 6th page. Now, here I'm going to tell you about objective of accounting. Yes, you want to become CCA, CA, and help companies in gaining these accounting objectives. Now, what are accounting objectives? The for me, I would say very easy to remember. One is maintaining of records of business transactions. Because we start a business not for a period of 6 months, 7 months, 1 year, 2 years. It's an ongoing process, right? So we have to maintain, the company has to maintain the proper records of each business transaction for its internal and external users, which I had explained you earlier. And also the second foremost, why the business is open. It's open for earning profit. So for calculation of profit or loss. If it's profit, then they would like to, management would like to enhance the profit in the coming years. If there is a loss, they would like to find out why the loss is happening and how to get away with it, how to reduce the loss. This is how the company would look into it, right? And the next is, I would take it here. Again, it would branch out. It would branch out to provide, what is the objective of accounting? First, I said maintaining of records. Second, I said calculation of profit. Again, it will branch out. And then it's providing accounting information to its users. Okay, users again, internal and external, which I had told you earlier, right? And the next one is finding, reading, analyzing its means company's financial position. So these are the 4 objectives, 4 main objectives. You can add many more. The list is limitless. But then these are the 4 basic objectives which we have to keep in mind. After this, I move to the last one. Just a second. The last one is basic terms of accounting. These are the terms which I am going to tell you. These are the terms which we are going to use it henceforth quite often, nearly in each and every class. Alright, so I move to the next page, number 7, and I'm going to talk here about the basic terms of accounting. It's very easy. Now it may be a little different for you, but then as you keep on doing accounts, you will find it very easy. Now, first one I would say is entity. What does entity means? Entity is the individual existence. Okay, for example, if I say a shopping mall, the big bazaar, okay, example, okay, the big bazaar is an entity, so that is the individual existence. Number 2, the transaction, which we have come across earlier in my class, now only today. Then next is assets. Assets are those which are long term, These are the economic resources which are possessed by the business. They give long-term benefits. They are company's possession. It belongs to the company. For example, if I have to ask you what example can you give for the asset, then we can say that machinery, equipments, plants, furniture, fixtures, right? Machinery, equipment, plants, I've written it in short form, plants, all those which belongs to company. And then liability. Liabilities are those which company has to pay back. Company has to pay, it doesn't belong to company. Here, the main you can think of belongs and they have to pay back. Liabilities, for example, bank loan, your creditors whom you have to pay. You have bought material from them, you need to pay them back. Alright? These are the examples. Then you have capital. Capital is something which we start the business. The businessman, let's say if it is a sole proprietor, that the sole proprietor is a person, if a single owner, sole is single owner person, he has invested in his business to start up the business. So that is called his capital, investment. Then you know sales, the product which are sold, the amount earned from the sale of the product. Then revenues. Now what are revenues? Revenues here, sales basically includes sale from the sale of product. Here revenue includes everything. For example, commission received, discount received, and so on and so forth. The other income as well. And then you will have expenses. Of course, if the business is running, there will be a lot of expenses. So expenses, for example, rent, salaries, wages, all these things. Then we have profit, or you can say gain. The business is earning profit. When we say profit, when the revenue is more than the income. When the revenue is profit or gain is when revenue is more than the expense. Then you will get profit. And like this, there are many other terms which you will be coming across. So guys, with this, I will end my first session on my YouTube channel. Please like, comment, share and subscribe. And I'll see you next time with more topics to cover and making it much easier for you. Goodbye for now. Take care.
I know gold is not